Daredevil has been brought to life through a wide range of statues and busts over the years, each one capturing a different version of the man without fear. In this video, we're taking a closer look at 10 standout Daredevil collectibles, highlighting the designs that showcase the character across his many appearances in comics and beyond. The first piece in this lineup is the Daredevil 1/10 scale statue, a grounded and realistic take on the character that leans into his street-level roots. This version presents Daredevil in his modern suit, with a textured design that reflects the darker tone often associated with the character. The pose places Daredevil on a set of worn urban steps, one foot raised as if he's pausing mid-patrol. That stance gives the statue a quiet intensity, suggesting awareness and control rather than outright action. The baton in his hand reinforces his readiness without needing an exaggerated pose. The base adds to the atmosphere, featuring distressed brickwork and subtle details that hint at the gritty environment Daredevil operates in. Overall, this statue captures the character's grounded, vigilant nature, focusing on presence and tension rather than speed or spectacle. Next is the Daredevil statue, a more dramatic and stylized take on the character that leans into a larger, more dynamic presentation. This version captures Daredevil in mid-movement, emphasizing his agility and precision as a fighter operating within the city environment. The pose places him climbing across a broken architectural structure, one foot planted while the other drives upward. His billy club is extended, with the cable visible, adding a sense of motion and action. The body positioning highlights flexibility and strength, giving the statue a strong sense of forward momentum. The base adds depth with detailed stonework and sculpted elements that suggest an older, worn part of the city. Combined with the intense pose, this creates a more cinematic presentation. Overall, this statue focuses on Daredevil's movement and athleticism, delivering a more action-driven interpretation of the character. Next is the Daredevil red costume statue from Bowen Designs, a classic and straightforward representation of the man without fear. This piece focuses on Daredevil in his iconic all-red suit, capturing the clean, timeless look that has defined the character across decades of comic book history. The pose is simple but effective, with Daredevil standing upright, holding his billy clubs at his sides, connected by the cable. This gives the statue a calm, controlled presence, emphasizing confidence rather than motion. It's a more traditional take that highlights the character's composure. The sculpt places strong emphasis on anatomy and suit detail, with defined musculature and smooth costume lines. The base is minimal and structured, allowing the figure itself to stand as the focal point. Overall, this statue delivers a clean, iconic version of Daredevil in his most recognizable form. Next is the Daredevil 1/10 scale statue with scene from McFarlane Toys, which adds a strong visual storytelling element to the display. This piece captures Daredevil mid-action, lunging forward with his billy club extended as if he's moving across the rooftops of Hell's Kitchen. What sets this statue apart is the full scene backdrop. The stylized cityscape behind him, complete with buildings and industrial elements, creates a comic-inspired environment that feels pulled straight from the page. It gives the piece depth and makes it feel more like a moment than just a pose. The sculpt emphasizes motion, with Daredevil's body angled forward and the cable from his billy club sweeping around him. Combined with the bold red and black suit, this statue delivers a dynamic, action-heavy interpretation of the character, perfect for collectors who want something more cinematic and display-driven. Next is the Daredevil Unleashed 1/10 scale statue from Iron Studios, which presents a more intense and grounded take on the character. This piece captures Daredevil crouched high above the streets, poised like a predator, scanning his surroundings before making his next move. The pose is compact and tense, with Daredevil balanced on a detailed architectural base that feels pulled straight from Hell's Kitchen. The sculpt emphasizes readiness and control, with his billy club hanging at his side, reinforcing that sense of quiet anticipation before action. There's a strong focus on realism here, from the textured suit to the weathered base beneath him. Combined with the darker tones and lighting of the piece, this statue delivers a more serious, street-level interpretation of Daredevil, highlighting the character's stealth and tactical presence. Next is the Marvel Premier Collection Daredevil statue, which delivers a strong, action-ready version of the character. This piece captures Daredevil in a wide, grounded stance, holding his billy clubs as if he's preparing to strike or defend in close combat. The pose emphasizes balance and control, with Daredevil leaning forward slightly, ready to engage. The sculpt highlights his athletic build and the texture of the suit, giving the figure a realistic, battle-ready feel while still maintaining a classic comic book look. The base adds extra visual interest, featuring architectural elements and sculpted details that tie into the urban setting of Hell's Kitchen. Overall, this statue presents Daredevil as a disciplined fighter, combining classic design with a modern, display-friendly presence. Next is the Daredevil 1/3 scale statue from PCS Collectibles, a large-scale centerpiece that fully embraces the character's intensity. This piece captures Daredevil mid-leap, arms extended wide with his billy clubs, as he bursts through a dramatic cathedral-like structure. The base is a major highlight, featuring a shattered stained glass window framed by Gothic architecture and stonework. The religious imagery adds a deeper layer to the character, reflecting Daredevil's internal struggle and moral complexity, while giving the statue a powerful visual backdrop. At this scale, the sculpt brings out incredible detail in both the suit and the environment, from the texture of the costume to the fractured glass and carved stone. This statue delivers a bold, cinematic take on Daredevil, making it a true statement piece for any collection. Next is the Marvel Gallery Netflix Daredevil statue from Diamond Select Toys, which brings the live-action version of the character into collectible form. This piece is based on the Daredevil Netflix series, capturing the more grounded and realistic interpretation of the hero portrayed by Charlie Cox. The suit design stands out immediately, featuring a darker red tone with armored paneling and tactical details that reflect the show's more practical approach. Daredevil is posed in a steady, upright stance, holding his batons, ready for whatever comes next. The likeness and costume work aim to reflect the on-screen version of Matt Murdock. Combined with the simple architectural base, this statue delivers a clean, TV-accurate representation that highlights Daredevil's street-level presence. Next is the Daredevil collectible resin statue from Marvel and Regency Entertainment, which presents a more classic and straightforward take on the character. This piece features Daredevil as portrayed by Ben Affleck in the 2003 Daredevil movie, standing atop a rooftop structure, reinforcing his identity as a protector of the city from above. The pose is simple and grounded, with Daredevil standing firm, fists clenched, ready for action. The suit design leans toward a more traditional comic-inspired look, with clean lines and a slightly more stylized approach compared to modern interpretations. The rooftop base adds just enough environmental detail without overpowering the figure. Overall, this statue delivers a clean, iconic version of Daredevil, focusing on presence and character rather than motion, making it a solid representation of the hero's classic look. Next is the Marvel Daredevil fine art statue from Kotobukiya, which presents a bold, action-focused version of the character. This piece captures Daredevil in a wide, aggressive stance, swinging his billy club with the cable extended, creating a strong sense of motion. The pose is dynamic and balanced, with Daredevil positioned as if he's mid-fight, ready to strike or counter. The sculpt emphasizes his athletic build and classic costume design, leaning into a more traditional comic book interpretation of the character. The base features a stone-like platform with subtle environmental details, grounding the figure without distracting from the action. Overall, this statue delivers a clean, energetic take on Daredevil, combining classic design with a sense of movement that stands out on display. That's a look at 10 standout Daredevil statues, each capturing a different side of the man without fear, from classic comic designs to modern and live-action interpretations. Be sure to check out the links in the description to find these statues, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more comic book character checklist videos. Also visit comicbookstatuesandbusts.com for more.